Shout out your like number. I like it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Damage Preport, and also return to the studio. We are back, thankfully. The tech problems supposedly are done. We're, of course, going to have to wait to find out if that's actually the case, but we are back in the studio. We're going to give it our best go, both with the pre-port, also the full show, and I'm going to be speaking with Dave Leventhal after the show, so that's going to be fun. We've got some stuff we're going to be talking about in this. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It looks like a little bit more than half of you already have, so thank you for that. I'm going to hopefully fix whatever issue I'm having with my monitor, because that's really annoying. Anyway, hey Silver Dragon, I saw we're actually going to be talking about that on the full show. But I haven't left us with a lot of time, so why don't we jump into our numbers? We're going to be talking about more about COVID on the full show today with Nina Turner. No big deal. But cases have now dropped below 60,000. We've been approaching that over the past week or so, waiting for it to happen. Death's still above 400, so isn't that great. But cases trending down, to about where we were at in the very beginning of May of this year. And then, if you want to have fun, you can also say it's where we were at in February of this year. It's where we were at in October of last year. I guess we were a little bit higher there. Maybe August of the previous year. Hey, maybe it's a cyclical thing. Won't that be swell? Gas prices effectively haven't budged at all in the last day. So a little bit of progress on some of these numbers. Not on a ton. I did want to send you to, if you are looking for a little bit of light reading to do before the damage report, we've got a new report up on tyt.com. Candace Cole is our DC reporter talking about that side deal with Joe Manchin. So, apparently, what you would want to have ideally when, doing this massive new pipeline is a study of the likely environmental impact it's going to have. So you would do that before you actually agree to make it. Because once you agree, it's going to be a lot harder to stop it, even if it turns out that, this is going to be absolutely devastating in terms of the environmental impact. There apparently is not time to actually do that before the supposed timeline of when they're going to pass this thing. So who does that benefit? Well, I think it's fairly obvious. It benefits the company. It benefits their shareholders. It benefits Joe Manchin if it happens. Does it benefit the planet? Hell no. Now, would you rush the passage of this before the environmental impact can be done? In which of these two circumstances would you be more likely to want to rush it? If you knew that its environmental impact was going to be fine, or if you worried that it was going to be really devastating, which would you be more likely to rush it in? I think we know. Anyway, many more details by Candace Cole up on tyt.com. Be sure to check that out. I don't want to play any more video of Tucker Carlson today than I need to, so I'm just going to mention, by the way, I just saw this. OAN founder Robert Herring donates $20,000 to DeSantis. Ooh, spicy. Anyway, Tucker Carlson called January 6th a nonviolent election justice protest. I think he's someone we can work with in good faith as progressives. Because if I know anything about January 6th, it's that it wasn't violent. It wasn't violent. Now, you might be vaguely remembering some footage of violence. You're wrong, and that's on you. It didn't happen. It was non-violent on January 6th at the Capitol. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was shot. Nobody was bludgeoned to death. Nobody was so affected by the trauma of what they experienced that they committed suicide in the immediate aftermath. That didn't happen. It was a non-violent election justice protest. So, by the way, it isn't anymore, you'll note, Antifa being violent, leftist provocateurs being violent. No, we're moving on from that. They weren't there because it was awesome and non-violent, and everyone that was there was good, and they just were worried about the election. So the people who died, they, I guess, died non-violently. I guess it was a coincidence. I don't know. Hey, Dystopian Sunset, how's it going? I did read that book growing up. Good for Gabby. Sent in a super chat saying, shout out to the dragons and Dragon Daddy. Woo! Thank you. I appreciate that shout out. Anyway, we've only got a few minutes. Donald Trump losing his mind over Don Lemon is fun. Maybe I'll save that for JR tomorrow for Big News Wednesday, because it's just, I love it when the guy who used to be president spends his time tweeting about how much he hates Don Lemon. Anyway, and I found this is a really good poll that we're going to have to talk about with JR. So let's jump to this, because I found this video to be fascinating. Here we go. Trigger warning for the voice in the face.
I just introduced articles of impeachment on President Joe Biden. Joe Biden
This is new, by the way.
Our strategic petroleum reserves. This should never happen. He is draining our reserves and selling our oil, Americans' oil, to foreign countries, and China is a top buyer. China is our enemy. They are not our friend. They're buying Americans' oil. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is our emergency supply for if something goes wrong in this country. It's now down to 434 million barrels of oil. That is nearly half of what it was when President Trump left office. This is an outrage. This is completely wrong, and no president of the United States should be doing this to the American people. It's going to create a national emergency crisis.
Okay, yeah. So she's impeaching him over that. Or over whatever, over literally anything, over everything, always and forever impeaching him. So enjoy that. If they take over the House, by the way, they will literally impeach him every day. So that'll be fun. But anyway, here is why I titled it the way it is. This is so amazing. So first of all, should we do things as a country so that we are not beholden to our strategic reserve, so we are not constantly at the mercy of some sort of oil crisis? Which, by the way, if there was a sufficiently bad crisis, the strategic reserve is supposed to be a buffer. It's supposed to help a little bit. It doesn't save us in all cases. So should we do something so that we are not constantly worried about that running out? No. We shouldn't do anything according to Marjorie Greene. We should be as desperately thirsty and needy for oil next year and 10 years and 100 years when there won't even be any oil as we are right now. But more importantly, take a look at what she supposedly believes, and then, and this is very important, the consequences of a person not actually having a fully realized and rational system of values, an actual ideology. She doesn't fucking know what she believes, and so if she just starts talking, she betrays everything. So we shouldn't be selling oil to our enemies. Now, of course, we're not specifically selling oil to our enemies. Oil is being sold. If you don't like that, I'm right on your side. But let's be clear, the thing that you don't like is capitalism. That's what you don't like. You don't like that the oil companies sell oil on the international market, including to our enemies. So let's change it then. Let's not let them do that. But what you're asking for is regulation on private industry, which I think is very reasonable. You supposedly hate that, but much more importantly than that, no president should be selling the American people's oil. So first of all, fuck you. How could you not possibly understand the bizarre brain worms that you're demonstrating right there? Since when is it the American people's oil? I would love the idea for the resources of our country to be for our people. They're very much not. It's Shell's oil, it's BP's oil, it's whatever, fucking ExxonMobil's oil. If you want it to be the American people's oil, Marjorie Greene, there's a process through which you can achieve that. It's called nationalization. And then, sure, it's our oil. It only goes to us. Solves both your problems. No longer disrespect to the American people. No longer sold to our enemies. But of course, she doesn't want either of those things. Except that she doesn't know what she wants. What she wants is an excuse to impeach Biden for something, for anything, for whatever. She has no idea what policy she supposedly supports. She has no idea whether any of this is consistent with supposed conservative values. It's all just a massive mental mishmash. Okay, now, unfortunately, we don't have any more time. But fortunately, we do have what looks like Jessica Burbank and Wazdi Lambre live on the watch list. So, everyone, it is time to head over to the watch list. I'm going live with Nina Turner in less than 1 hour, so I hope to see you there. If you haven't already, hit the like button on your way out, and I will see you soon.